oftentimes you hear in life in general, if you want to become something, a professional athlete, a successful real estate investor, we talk about real estate a lot on the show, an entrepreneur, you have to go find those circle of friends and not necessarily abandon your circle, but if your circle of friends just plays Xbox all day and you have an aspiration to be a real estate investor, then not abandon these friends completely, but go find a new circle of friends. I have to imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong, you probably abandoned your old circle of friends that maybe were part of your encouragement of getting high.
Yeah. There's a sort of a 12-step cliche that if you don't want a haircut, don't go to the barbershop.
Oh, sure. Sure, that makes sense.
And so, like one of the first things you do is you find a bunch of new friends. And generally, if, like for me, in 12-step program, it's 12-step people.
Yeah.
So you're spending your time, you go to lots of meetings, and you spend time with those people.
Yeah.
You go to a meeting, you go out to the coffee shop after and get coffee or food or whatever, and you spend all your time with those people, and it keeps you safe.
Yes.
I am, at this point, still friends with people that I used with who are clean, and some of them had a lot more trouble than me, but those were formative times in my life, and I am still friends with them. But yeah, at the time, like you pretty much have to quit hanging out with the people you were hanging out with.
Got it.
Especially like if it's opiates, because like your life is just so focused on the spoon.
Right.
Lucky for me, like I said earlier, that I'd lived in Boston when I was using a whole lot. When I moved back to California, I really didn't have a whole lot of friends left there.
Got it.
And any friends I had quickly fell away because I was such a scumbag. And so I didn't, like, all the people that I was hanging out with were pretty much just street addicts.
Got it.
And it was not hard to stay away from them.
Got it.
And also, I used mostly in a different city than where my family lived and where I went to jail. So when I got clean, it was a different city than where I would go to buy my drugs.
Got it.
That made, like, there were a bunch of things that were just lucky for me.
Yeah.
That made things a little easier.
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, moving around from California to Boston, what brought you to Utah, Salt Lake? I'm assuming Salt Lake. Did you start here?
Yeah.
Okay.
My family were early Mormons, so I had roots here. I'd lived here for a year when I was a kid. My grandparents lived here. I have lots of relatives here. My dad more or less grew up in Ogden.
Got it.
And I had a long-distance relationship with a girl in Denver.
Okay.
And then she moved to Utah. And I started coming out to visit her from California.
Got it.
And discovered that there was good mountain biking here.
Oh, nice.
And I hadn't skied for years, but I started skiing a little bit again.
Okay.
And I moved out here for the girl.
Okay.
Who promptly dumped me.
Oh, no.
Like within a few weeks via text. It was awesome.
Okay.
And then I had what I called the summer of angry riding.
Oh, got it.
Not using drugs or drinking.
Oh, good.
Like it's sort of hard to manage that kind of thing. And so I would mountain bike about 5 or 6 times a week to manage my feelings. I also worked from home.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in front of the computer just angry.
Yeah.
And I'd go for rides to manage my feelings.
That's awesome.
I was super fit that year. So I moved out here for a girl. She dumped me, and I met my wife here like a year later, and so, it worked out.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you for some tips of success as well as tips of keeping your mindset strong. You'd mentioned earlier that you work on yourself, and you've been able to work on yourself maybe just enough to be right, but you're aware there's things you could do to keep working on yourself. we're going to dive into that a little bit if you don't mind, mindset and tips to success.
Sure.
Okay, great, excellent. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Okay, before we part ways, in case you have a dog or know someone else who does have a dog, I wanted to take a quick second to show you the Snap Leash. The Snap Leash can literally do so many things, and I'm going to share with you one of the many cool things that it can do. As you can see, the Snap Leash is designed with 2 swivel hooks, one on each end. This end has a cushion stitched into it to make it comfortable when walking your dog. Now, all you have to do is take this swivel hook, put it into this very first grommet, and now you've got your handle. Okay, so now let's imagine you're at the park and you want to secure your pet quickly, safely, and easily to a park bench, a tree, or a pole because you just want to sit down and relax. Well, all you need to do is take this swivel hook, remove it from the very first grommet, wrap this leash around any size tree or pole or park bench, and put it into the appropriate grommet, and now you have secured your pet quickly, safely, and easily. And when it's time to head home, another great feature about the Snap Leash is you can simply wrap it around your waist for hands-free walking. Lastly, if you ever accidentally forget your waist bags at home, these grommets make a great place to fasten the waist bags so you never leave home without them. And if you want to see all of the other cool things that the Snap Leash can do, then please just click on the link below and find out why so many others are falling in love with the Snap Leash.